In 2014, there will be a lot more when we're the government.
I call the honourable member Mike Sabin.
Thank you, sir.
Tēnā
Kia ora, sir. I appreciate the greeting. Can I just firstly take an opportunity to acknowledge the member introducing this bill, David Clark, and also Grant Robertson for his, that's the one. As I now understand, I can always rely on the Honourable Trevor Mallard to correct me if I go astray. Very helpful, very helpful. I do appreciate having such a wingman with such integrity, sir. Can I just acknowledge Grant Robertson also for as the original author of this bill in the Select Committee. I'm now a member of that Select Committee, sir, but wasn't involved in this process. But it is worthy of acknowledging the fact that when any member sees legislation pass through this House, that there has been a lot of hard work undertaken in that. However, sir, as members will be aware, this National Party will not be supporting this bill, and really, for me, it comes down to quite a fine balance. And first and foremost for me, sir, as a former naval officer and serviceman, the recognition of Anzac Day, sir, the full recognition of Anzac Day is not something that requires Mondayisation. Sir, let's make it very clear that Anzac Day needs no other form of recognition other than the fact that it is Anzac Day, a time in which this nation gathers together to remember the sacrifices and the lives that were lost in 1915 in Gallipoli, sir, and all the other conflicts in which New Zealand servicemen have upheld the honour of this country and democracy. And that is something, sir, that I don't believe needs a public holiday to recognise. Well, it certainly doesn't need Mondayisation. I'll come to that member's points in due course. But, sir, for me, the special significance of that day runs the risk of being lost in the idea of a public holiday, a 3-day weekend being the reason for celebration. And as we say goodbye to the last of those most senior veterans, sir, it falls upon the next generation and their children to pick up that baton and carry that as we remember those who have passed on, who have survived those wars, sir. And for me, that is something which certainly doesn't need the recognition of a bill such as this, which really in its title, I think, sir, actually underpins exactly what it's about. Holidays, full recognition of Waitangi Day and Anzac Day Amendment Bill. It somehow suggests, sir, that there is not adequate recognition in the days themselves, but by making it a long weekend, we somehow more fully recognise it. And I just believe, sir, that that is unnecessary. The question as to Waitangi Day as a Member of Parliament for Northland, again, it's a very, very special and significant day for the nation. It's a day that has seen some controversy. Sir, I remember as a policeman, 1 or 2 battles of the bridge, as we used to call them up there. But I have to say that in the last Waitangi Day this year in 2013, that there's definitely a change of mood at that place where the treaty was signed. But nonetheless, sir, it is a very, very significant day to this nation. It signifies the modern New Zealand that we know now. It was a starting point for that. And as a Member of Parliament for that area, it's very important for me that that day is recognised for what it actually is. Some have referred to it as New Zealand Day. In fact, members of the Labour Party in years gone by have done that, sir, and I just want to read a couple of quotes from the Hansard that reflect the sentiment of the Labour Party of old. And they may have some views as to what today's Labour Party are about. But, sir, I'll leave that for the punters out there to speculate on. But, sir, the former Minister of Māori Affairs, Maturata, said, like Anzac Day, New Zealand Day is not to be Mondayised. It is the significance of the occasion that is important, rather than the fact that it is to be a paid public holiday. It should not be regarded as merely an extra paid holiday. Sir, that's one of them. And we've heard the member Darian Fenton spent most of her 10-minute speech, sir, talking about workers, holidays and so on and so forth. And while everyone will accept that an honest, hard day's work deserves recognition in terms of a break, sir, again I come back to my original point about what these days are actually about, what they mean in the hearts and minds of New Zealanders versus becoming some default setting as another holiday, another long weekend. Sir, it goes on because former Minister of Internal Affairs, Mr May, also of the Labour Party, said that the government believes that Mondayising of New Zealand Day would detract from the importance and significance of that event it commemorates. Sir, former MP Ms P. Rewiti said the committee considered that it was justified. Do you want me to write that down for you, Mr Mallard? I'll send it over. I'll send it over in a note for you. I'm sure you'd know. You must be a great author of the Labour Party history, I'm sure. That member certainly carved his name well into it. Yeah, well, that's good. Well then the member should know. So there's no need to ask me. I'm sure he can make a mental note for himself. The committee considered it was justified in declaring that Waitangi Day should not be Mondayised because the Labour Party had gone to the electors in 1972 on the policy that Waitangi Day would not be Mondayised. Sir, if the member was here, he probably remembers a lot of those speeches. He probably remembers what the old Labour Party, the working Labour Party of old, was all about. But, sir, I come to my point that the member Darian Fenton has raised, and that is about this consistent attack, as she puts it, by the New Zealand National Party on the workers. Sir, the attack on the workers, that is ironic given that the introducing member for this bill actually has also introduced the minimum wage bill looking to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Now, sir, if we could just legislate the minimum wage without any consequence to the employer who ultimately has to find the means to employ that person, then why stop at $15? Why not chuck $25, in fact $50, maybe $100 an hour? And sir, that member David Clark considers himself to be the best spokesman on economics in 50 years. And yet he has been a member that has single-handedly introduced two members' bills to this House, both of which have a significant fiscal consequence to the employer. And they do, of course they do. Well, I'm not going to listen to the union strongman over there bellowing his comments from across the floor, because at the end of the day, and that member would have to recognise that at some point, that employers need to find money to pay their employees, and they have to do that by actually making a profit. Sir, and there's a very fine line there. And so this member who has introduced this bill, so-called economic spokesperson, will actually be hurting small and medium businesses, sir. That's what that's about there. Sir, can I just close by saying that really for me, look, I acknowledge the work that David Clark has done. I respect the parliamentary process that has been followed here, and for me this has been about a fine balance. It has been a very fine balance. No, it certainly won't be. But look, it has been a fine balance, sir, and for me it falls on the side of those servicemen in particular, sir. And as we approach Anzac Day, can I just conclude by acknowledging those fallen soldiers and servicemen from across New Zealand that have served this country so well in upholding our place in the world and doing our bit and far more. Those veterans who have survived those wars, and the existing servicemen who are out there serving our country today, sir. On Anzac Day, I will proudly be standing there to commemorate and to acknowledge those. And sir, and I wonder whether Mr Clark will be confronted with a little bit of flack as a result of that. But sir, can I just close by saying that Anzac Day is a very important day to all New Zealanders, and I look forward to this Anzac Day to celebrate commemorate and remember those who have fallen, sir, lest we forget.
I call the honourable member David Clenton.